Hello, here we are on the Chrome web browser, and I'm going to simulate a student joining a Teams meeting from a laptop, Chromebook, MacBook. This is a desktop. This would be very similar if they were even using the mobile browser. A mobile browser, though, would ask them to access or install the Teams app. You cannot access Teams meetings from mobile browsers. That's the iPad browser, Safari or Chrome, it doesn't matter. You can't access Teams meetings on a mobile browser. Smartphone doesn't work. They have to have the free Microsoft Teams app installed on iPad or on their smartphone in order to join from those devices. But in the case that a student wanted to join on a laptop device, this is what they would see. Okay, it's going to prompt them to either download the app for Windows. In this device, you're seeing it's asking me to download the Mac app. I don't want to do that. I don't think many students will be installing the software. They'll probably most likely be joining on the browser. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to join on the browser, and I'm going to show you where students log in. It's kind of small. This is normal. It's going to ask them for permission to use their mic and their camera. But if you see down on the bottom, it's asking for a better experience, sign in. And that's where you want to direct students to, down below. Ask them to sign in. If you need them to contribute to the meeting in the chat, in meeting notes, using the whiteboard, all those things students are not going to have access to if they're in as a guest. Now, our organization allows guests to join a meeting. That are people outside of our K-12 network are labeled as guests. Guests can join our meetings, but they have very few permissions. They can't access the whiteboard. They can't contribute in the chat. They can't access the meeting notes that are editable and collaborative by everybody in the meeting. So if those are things that you want your students to have access to, you need to teach them and support them in how to sign in as they join the meeting. Okay? Otherwise, students would put their name here, click join, and they go to a waiting room. Now that's for safety measures, right? Nobody can join your meeting and Zoom bomb your meeting and put inappropriate things up there. But that's how they would join as a guest. And if it's okay with you, then they're welcome to join as a guest. Just know that they will not have access to several of the features inside Microsoft Teams. Okay? Otherwise, prompt them to sign in, which is going to open up a sign-in box, and they sign in using their K-12 credentials. Now, in Berkeley County, the same way that students log into a computer is the same way that they log into K-12. The suffix is just a little different, of course, but mine is D Oldfield at K-12. My Google login is D Oldfield. I log into my VR Spot with D Oldfield. I log into a desktop computer with D Oldfield. It's the same thing across all our platforms. So know that. If you have questions, contact the computer teacher or TIS at your school for some of those login support questions.